Hi, my name is Gina and I am a Tropical Vedic Astrologer, and I use the whole sign, whole house system. And today we are going to talk about the moon and the different moon signs. Before I discuss the moon signs, I want to quickly go over what is the moon? What is the significance of the moon in our charts? Many people connect to the description of their moon sign more than their sun sign. It's a really significant planet in everyone's chart, and the moon represents how we perceive the world, and it represents our preferences, our likes and dislikes. The moon also corresponds to the mother. So when we're between the ages of 0 and 1, this is the time period that shapes the condition of our moon in our charts. If our moon is extremely starved because it's conjunct Saturn, that can show us some things that was happening when between your ages of 0 and 1. Maybe your mom was going through an extremely stressful situation, or your moon can be with its friend Mercury, and Mercury is really helping your moon. The moon represents how we get our needs met, and it also represents how we get nurtured. So if our mother was able to nurture us, and if our mother was able to give us what we need when we needed that thing, that could have really benefited us. And because of that time period between 0 and 1, we're used to having our needs met, or maybe not having our needs met. So the moon also represents our comforts. What do we feel comfortable with? And that is usually a reflection of how we experienced life between the ages of 0 and 1. Another thing that the moon represents is our adaptability, because in this world we're not always able to get 100% of our needs met. That's not possible. But what the key is with the moon is how adaptable are we? And the moon also represents our home, our environment, especially between the ages of 0 and 1. Are we used to getting our needs met? Are we used to having a lot of nurturing, a lot of care, between those ages? So we might get used to that. We might expect that. Was our mom or mother figure unable to be there 100% of the time? Maybe she worked 2 jobs. Maybe she had other kids as well. There's a lot to talk about when it comes to the moon, but I think this is a great start, a great foundation. And right now I am going to dive into each moon sign. If you haven't already, please check out my moon boards on my website at hercosmiccrown.com/astrology, and if you scroll all the way to the bottom, you'll see my moon boards and a quick description of each moon sign. But I am going to describe each moon sign more in detail right now. Sagittarius Moon. The description I have for Sagittarius Moon is visionary, universally connected, truth seeker, generous, divinely inspired. Let's talk about Sagittarius. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, and it's also a fire sign. All fire signs have to do with the self. It's about the dharma, the path that a person's on. And Sagittarius, being ruled by Jupiter, has to do with the bigger picture in life. Looking at the bigger picture, one's goals, one's vision. So a person with their moon in Sagittarius can have a vision for life. They can have goals for their life. In Gemini astrology, Sagittarius represents a man on a horse with a bow and arrow, and he's traveling and he's seeking knowledge, because Jupiter is knowledge. It's understanding, having deep understanding. And when we travel the world, we can have deep understanding about the world. We can see things from new perspectives. We can be visionaries when we have our moon in Sagittarius. And I have a map here and a compass because they may have a map for their life. They may have certain goals. They have a direction they want to go. Now, whether or not they execute those goals is a different story. We have to look at their birth chart. But a moon and Sagittarius person can be imaginative, visionaries. And it's a good place to have the moon because the moon and Jupiter are friends. Jupiter can help a person have luck, you know, on their path. And it's because they can be so open-minded. They can be open to different possibilities in terms of feeling happy, you know? So if you have all these different possibilities, you could say, oh, maybe this direction is good for me because this makes me feel good. I have a picture of a tree with all these different religious symbols on it. And because Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, it represents different religions, different philosophies that are out there. Maybe a person with their moon in Sagittarius has some ideas and philosophies about the world. And as they travel on their journey, they can, you know, really refine their philosophy for life. They can be truth seekers. I have a picture from the Hermit tarot card. The Hermit is a person who seeks truth, and they may be alone as they seek truth. You know, it's like this person in their hermitage, and they are gaining self-knowledge. All the fire signs have to do with the self, and it's not necessarily a sociable sign, even though they can be. But it's about finding that truth in oneself, finding themselves, okay? It's about a path of the self. They can acquire a lot of knowledge. Jupiter also rules the guru. So I have a picture of a guru here, and this is Yogananda. I'm not saying that all people with their moon in Sagittarius are gurus. That is definitely not the case, but there could be something profound about a person with their moon in Sagittarius. They want to find the truth and their truth. And they could do this by being on their hermitage or reading books, reading knowledge. And when I think of Sagittarius in general, I think of the allegory of the cave by Plato. And, you know, it's about a person in the cave in just this limited perspective, but they go outside of the cave, they explore. When I think of Sagittarius, I think about exploring the mind, exploring what's out there, and not just being stuck in a cave. So having one's moon in Sagittarius can help a person expand their mind, expand their horizons. And because of that, they can share with other people what they have found in their lives. They can become a guru of their own. They can be a teacher in a specific field. They have this inner fire. They have this inner light within them. I also think of the movie The Matrix when it comes to Sagittarius. And especially the scene where Neo is in front of Morpheus. And Morpheus gives him a choice between the red and the blue pill. And the blue pill is kind of like this matrix we're living in, where there's a lot of illusions out there and a lot of falsehoods, right? Illusions such as, you know, oh, I have a big house, I have a nice car, I have all these friends, I have 1 million followers on social media, and I'm happy, right? That is an illusion because that doesn't necessarily make you happy. Happiness with those external things don't make a person happy necessarily. But he chose the red pill because the red pill is about the truth, finding the truth in these things, seeing through the matrix, seeing through the things that are supposed to make us happy. More and more, I want more and more. I want a bigger house, I want a bigger boat, I want to consume this, getting caught up in that without finding one's happiness. So having one's moon in this Jupiter sign can help a person find joy, find their happiness. That's because they can see the bigger picture when it comes to things, not just seeing things from a narrow focus and following things that inspire them, right? Following things that come natural to them, things that are part of their dharmic path. And I also have the planet Jupiter at the top because Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. I also have the pyramids here. And the pyramids remind me of the book, The Alchemist. So The Alchemist is about this boy, Santiago, and he goes on this journey and he's trying to find this treasure. And Yeah, and that's what I think of Sagittarius is about, this person on this journey called life, and they're trying to find this treasure. And this treasure that is emanating from them, essentially, is what Sagittarius is looking for. And this external feedback that a person gets from life helps them figure out what is important to them and what gives them joy, what gives them happiness. And I also have this balloon, hot air balloon, because it reminds me of the Wizard of Oz, right? And again, it's this theme of illusions, which is the 8th sign, which is Scorpio. All these like illusions and things like that in this life, things that we think are going to make us happy that don't necessarily make us happy. And when we get to the wizard, we have certain things that this wizard can do. Like, this wizard is gonna make me happy or make me smart or something like that. And then we find the wizard, we find the thing that is gonna make us smart, and then you realize that that thing wasn't even real, right? It was this projection of realness or truth. And I feel like a person with their moon in Sagittarius is finding that truth, looking through the delusions. And when they find that truth, they can soar above and beyond the BS in life. And that is characterized by this hot air balloon. And there's even a point where, like, the wizard in the Wizard of Oz, he got to Oz because he was in this hot air balloon. The hot air balloon is also a form of travel and a form of getting to a destination. I feel like a person with the moon in Sagittarius is looking for traveling in order to find growth, in order to find what is true to them and what their purpose is and how they can make their vision become reality.